What is up, everybody? Welcome to a very special episode of our favorite and your favorite wrestling podcast, Lucha House Show Podcast. That's Lucha HSP on Spotify and at podcast.luchahsp on Instagram. I'm Mars, the voice of violence, as always, joined here by my colleague at ringside, the former dreaded demon, Rowdy Rod. And what a week. To say that it was
Woo!
monumental would be to understate it.
Oh,
It was probably the biggest week in at least the last 25, 30 years of professional wrestling, if not in the
yes.
history of professional wrestling. Hell froze over, pigs flew, children cried, women were horrified, and grown men said, ha, about fucking time.
Pretty much.
Because believe it or not, this is not a rehearsal. This is true. This is what happened. John Cena turned heel. That's not a mistake. You heard it right. John Cena turned heel. That was the massive part of a massive elimination
Yeah.
show, which we'll dissect in its entirety. And as if that wasn't enough, some serious stuff went down on Raw today that we're going to talk about. Minds have been blown. My brain just doesn't know what's going on. And if the last 3 days taught us anything about professional wrestling and what we think we know, is that we don't know anything at all. When Triple H is at the helm of the ship, and the Rock's in the wheelhouse, and everyone else that's who's who in the zoo is in that wheelhouse, we just don't know where the fuck the ship is going, and that's the way that we love it. So, I mean, Rod, do you want to start at the end of Elimination Chamber, or do you want to start at the start?
I just want to start with this. You always remember the most important times of your life. You always remember where you were at the moment that you saw happen, or when you had that moment. Is it that something that just shocked your life?
Yeah.
I was at the airport. I couldn't watch it live. I was like, I had everything done. I sat down, had 2 hours to go for the flight, so we had plenty of time. I was like, just don't talk to me. I want to watch this. My son almost spoiled it to me by accident. Like the ending, which I quickly erased it on my head. So I was like, I didn't even. And then an hour before no, sorry, not even. 20 minutes before the flight was about to board, fucking John Cena turns heel.
When you know how much I tried not to message you, I was just like, just
And you know
watch,
what?
watch.
And you know what? This just reminds me. I was like, it was the time that my wife doesn't like wrestling, doesn't watch wrestling. She started asking me, oh, do you watch what's happening in WrestleMania? And was the time the Undertaker was about to retire. And I was like, oh my God, if my wife is telling me, that means must be something being, and I know it was a taker. So when you message me and you're like, state of socials, just watch, I'm like, Marcel would never, ever say something like that to me unless it was super, super fucking important. So I
Mate,
was like,
can I just say shout out to the wives of wrestling fans,
oh
because
yeah.
my wife was looking at me, jumping up and down in our living room, yelling at the television at the top of my voice. And she's like, I'm here trying to explain to her why
What
this is
is
so huge.
happening?
And she's
Yeah.
like, yep, I get it. That's nice. I'm like, you don't get it. You don't get it.
My wife would look at me and is like, you're an idiot. That's pretty much it. Um,
But mate, like, all
we'll
right, let's
get there.
start at
We'll
the
get
end.
there. I
Oh, we'll
just
get
wanted
there.
to,
All right.
we'll get there. I just wanted to get that out of my head. I was just gonna say, it just that much of a shock. You always remember that moment. But let's start from the beginning because we had a lot happening, and we started
Mm-hmm.
with the elimination chamber, the women's elimination chamber, which we're gonna say Marcel has been saying it for a while. We're just waiting for it happening. We get everyone into the chamber. The last ones to get in was Liv Morgan and Naomi. It was really weak how it started though, but it's about to start. They ring the bell. They didn't close the gate, which was
No.
really strange. And then we just hear the missing hit. And we
Mm-hmm.
all knew what that meant. We saw Jakagi coming in. Probably everyone thought, oh, he's going to go for Liv Morgan. We knew not. We knew
No.
it wasn't the case. And she goes straight to Naomi, beat the shit out of Naomi until she got it out of context. and she was unable to compete because attack of Jade Cargill. She leaves, and Bianca Belair is absolutely in tears. Now, there's little things people have been pointing out. One of the biggest one is, as soon as Jade Cargill gets into the ring, Bianca Belair took the jacket off, ready to fight. Straight away.
Yeah, I saw
One
that.
thing. And the one thing that struck me a lot about that today. After she won, she didn't go to see Naomi. Today, she didn't see Naomi. She was really happy, relaxed, like nothing ever happened, which is really strange. When two of your best friends got in a massive
No, she
fight,
did. Well, she did say she's
you
still
say
trying to process the
something,
whole thing.
but she didn't have the face of someone processing something really bad. I gotta say that. I gotta point that out because it was really weird for me. It's really strange the way she's been behaving, regardless to what happened. Um, what are
I
your
look,
thoughts?
I think I called it.
Yeah,
I
you
did
called that
obviously
like a
didn't call the
while
winner.
ago. A while ago.
The winner I didn't call. I got that so wrong.
Yeah.
But again, I did say last week that I just couldn't pick it. It was really hard, and I just picked the name. Um, I did see Bianca take her jacket off, but so what? I don't look. I don't. It doesn't make sense that she was involved because not only did she lose her opportunity for the US title, she also lost the tag team titles. Basically, even though Naomi jumped in and they won them,
Mm,
they kept them. She still technically lost it for a little bit, so it made no sense for her to be part of that. I don't know where they're going with it. As a lot of things now, like I said at the start, like the only thing
we
the
don't
last
know.
few days have told us is that we don't know anything at all. But it was in terms of the chamber match itself, it was phenomenal.
It's
The women's
great.
one, it was the women that were there that have been there before, they were fantastic. I've got notes. I've got notes. I've written down
Oh,
notes.
bring him in, Bram. Bring him in.
So for me, Alexa Bliss's performance showed absolutely zero ring rust. It was like she never
Yes.
left. She was great. I thought obviously Liv Morgan, absolute gun, absolute weapon in full beast mode. Did you see the photos of her injuries after the match?
Did you hear that
That
whip that she got?
Yeah, that whip. That
Oh
was
my
insane.
god. That
That was
sound. That
insane.
exactly same whip
Yeah,
the what's called Mercedes Monet, known as Mercedes Monet now, got when Bianca Belair won for the first time the title. That whip that we all heard, it was just so fucking
loud
loud.
like a horse whip. It was sensational. And
Painful.
you know who really impressed me as well, and who held her own in a
Roxana
ring full of
Perez.
absolute legends? Roxanne Perez.
Oh yeah, she did
Like
great.
she's fantastic, mate. Like she's a little pocket rocket, little pocket dynamite.
Oh, agree. Unbelievable.
And she's also got a great like story, like the fact that she used to travel on a Greyhound bus to when she was 16 to go and
Oh yeah.
go to Booker T's wrestling school and learn how to be a pro wrestler because that's all she ever wanted to be.
And she's still
So
in
she
NXT,
yeah, that's right.
which
She's
is really strange. She's still in NXT. She made it to the chamber.
well,
Um,
yeah, but she's been into some massive like she's in the Rumble, she was in the Chamber,
yeah, but she's been in a storyline with Bailey now. So
yeah.
they keep going at
And
it.
what don't forget last year in Elimination Chamber last year in Perth when I went over there, I got the pleasure of interviewing Tiffany, and I asked her a question about her meteoric rise and like what because she'd only just been in NXT and she was in like the Elimination Chamber. And look at her now, and I put
Yeah.
Roxanne Perez in a similar vein.
Oh, 100%.
So
100%.
I mean, and of course Bailey always holds her own. She's a gun, like she's reliable. She was my pick. I got it wrong.
Mm.
So
But I gotta say, we did say, and I know this is in recording, we did say that out of all of them that were there, the most obvious choice, because we already seen it, they always gonna be a good fight, was gonna be Bianca Belair against Rhea Ripley. We said that.
mm.
It could be a good one because out of all of them, it's the one that, yeah, we've seen it before, but we know it's gonna deliver a WrestleMania. So
well, we're not going to get to see that
yeah, we're not gonna get to
at
see
this
that. We'll,
stage.
we'll
At
get
this
to that
stage.
later. We're gonna get to
At
that
this
later.
stage.
But this stage, we're not gonna see it.
So then we'll move to the tag match, which is Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus, the Hall of Famer, against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae.
Nice feel, nice feeling. That was great.
Yeah, it was good. It
It
was
was a
good. It was a
good,
good match.
quick match. Good match. It was a good way to keep Tiffy, not
Relevant.
reliable, relevant with
Yeah.
Nia Jackson, Candice
There,
LeRae, Trish
there
Stratus,
was one
fucking logo
thing.
hero.
There was one thing that I was worried for a moment. I don't know if you picked up on it or not. when there was a moonsault attempt, and Candice LeRae pushed Tiffy off the top rope, and her foot got stuck between the ropes. Her foot
Oh
nearly got
yeah,
caught in the ropes, and it bent like hyperextended. And I thought, oh shit! But no, thankfully everything was all right. They put
yeah,
on a great match. Trish, it was great for Trish because she got to wrestle for the first time live in front of the kids,
yeah,
and she still got it. She could still wrestle full time. I've
yeah,
got
hundred
no
percent.
doubt about that. But it was a good showcase for Tiffany. Candace, I'm starting to like this Candice LeRae and Nia Jax pairing. I still think Indy Hartwell. I still think there was room for Indy Hartwell to be part of it. But
It's
that's
just
got
India.
that's
India as a heel is weird. That's the other thing. In India as a heel,
yeah,
that
fair
doesn't
enough, fair
work really
call.
well. Kansler Ray is a heel. Like she always been a heel. Is a really good heel. Nia Jax, well, we know he's a heel. And the good thing with the Pixie, Queen, she's the little she just likes to pick and she's like
Yeah,
instigator.
that's right.
She little
That's right.
this and little that and instigates and
Yeah,
instigates. So yeah,
yeah,
she's kind of the one that in the ear of Nia Jax to keep picking, picking, poking, like
yeah.
until she gets and she sees the opening and she will take advantage. And that's what she
That's
does.
absolutely right.
That's why I
Yeah,
love
that's
the
a good.
character she has. She's a fucking great character that she has in there. But that was
Yeah,
a good.
she's like that. She's like that annoying little brother that
Oh
just hangs
yeah,
around and hangs around.
yeah. Until she gets what she wants.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
exactly.
find the opportunity, then she'll take it.
Yeah, she'll
Like
take
it's
it.
fun. Great match. But then we gotta go to the absolutely destroy of a match, the
Can I
unsanctioned
interrupt
match.
you? Can
Oh,
I interrupt you?
go for it.
And you know where my passion lies in this wonderful sport of professional wrestling, and it lies in three letters: ECW,
Oh yeah,
and and that's
flashbacks.
and that's where Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens took us.
Oh yeah,
The, we always knew it was going to be. We always knew it was going to be brutal. Well, I just did not think it was going to be this brutal. I've made a list of the moves that took place in that match. We're talking put through two refreshment tables, hockey sticks, a ring bell, chairs, trash cans, biting, table on table off the top rope, brain buster through a chair, inverted fisherman suplex from the second rope through a table, two referees taken out, including
yeah.
veteran official Charles Robinson,
Well,
barbed wire wrapped chair.
what an ending.
There was at one stage where the crowd went silent. They were in complete shock. They just didn't know what they were witnessing. It was brutal.
That was right at the end. Like right in when they bring that chair. Like I think that's what the part that people
Yeah,
want to go chuck is
yeah,
the barbed
yeah.
wire and the fact that well, that's the what they're saying. They asked for that chair to be wrapped in barbed wire and not to be fake. So not to
Not
be
rubber
filed
tipped.
down.
Not rubber tipped.
No,
Yep. Yep.
it just absolutely proper. So that means when when KO got the chair in the face,
He copped it.
he copped it for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
So goddamn man. I
And
think
then
that's
I
when people
remember,
kind of freaked out at the end.
yeah, when Sammy's open lifts up the ring apron and looks and as if saying like, "What the hell is that?" And he rips out that chair with the barbed wire chair. And I was like, "Whoa!"
Mm,
Shit just got real. And it was a brutal match. It was all over the arena.
it's great,
There was no quarter asked and none given by either of them.
which was
It was
awesome.
just two old friends going at it, hammer and tongs, and putting on a spectacular performance.
They smash each
Spectacular.
other.
And I might have not got it at the right moment, but I did call this.
You
I
did call
did
it.
call
Yeah,
that
100% did.
RKO was going to come back and get Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
I
it
did.
was right
Kevin
at the
Owens
end.
exposing the mat for the concrete. He was going to give a package pile driver to Sami Zayn on that bare concrete. And
Mm,
Randy Orton's like, no, 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 not on my watch, mate. And
thank you.
obviously it's setting up for Randy Orton and
KO.
Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. So
Far
which
out.
is going to be a banger, absolute
And
banger.
KO giving an RKO to everyone, including security.
RKO's all round on the house, and he almost went for that legend killer punt to the head, and
Almost.
security intervened.
Yeah, now like look, that match is just like you said. I think at the point that people went silent was literally when that chair came out and they start going
Yeah,
with the chair. I think that's when people kind of got freaked out. That I
yeah,
think it's all fun and like well, we like hardcore shit, but there's a lot of wrestling fans that just like the wrestling stuff like that. But
yes,
when they
yeah.
see too much blood, they freak out.
Mm.
But it's fine. But when you see this kind of stuff, which is insane, That's when you're like, oh my god, is this? And that's why when they point that guy up, and he was like,
Yeah, yeah,
and everyone started
exactly.
laughing.
Yeah,
It was like that was everyone. We all were like,
everyone was like that.
what
Yeah,
the fuck is happening here?
that's how
Like
I was
it's
looking at my television.
oh yeah, pretty the same. I was like, what is going on? Like there was no holds bar. There was no space for breathing. You
None.
couldn't breathe. They didn't breathe. It's literally just from the beginning, just going for 27 minutes, going at each other, like smashing the shit at each other. And
Yeah,
KO takes the
insane,
win,
insane match,
and
insane.
KO
And
comes in at the end. So KO comes at the end, and it gets a massive, preparation to what's gonna happen. People got nuts, and that was great, man. That was absolutely great. And then we got to the last match of the night,
oh yeah,
which had everything. So we got the men's elimination chamber, where we had Drew McIntyre, Damien Priest, Logan Paul, Seth Freaking Rollins, CM Punk, and John Cena.
Logan Paul, who went into the wrong pod to begin with and had to be shown the right pod to go to. Yeah.
Fucking idiot. Like he came out first. Like he came out first.
Mm.
But man, I just so many moments during the match. So many. They just I don't know, just so many stories happening at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like CM Punk just absolutely, riling up Seth freaking Rollins and Drew McIntyre to go to each other. Damian Priest just trying to rip the shit out of Logan Paul, and I love how everyone like there's that one image of from the far with the camera, and it's Logan Paul and it's what's it called, and it's Damian Priest at the back, and everyone's like, every day pass, Damian Priest look more like the Undertaker, literally,
Yes.
and you see like the
Yes.
side by side when the Undertaker absolutely exactly the same. So he's just turning into the Undertaker by default. Like it doesn't even he's not doing it on purpose. Um, CM Punk did fucking great, man.
Yeah.
He eliminated two guys
He eliminated Logan Paul
and Seth freaking Rollins.
and Seth freaking Rollins. Yeah. Yep. Priest eliminated Drew McIntyre
And Logan
after
then
Drew did the Claymore on Cena.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
And
Logan Paul took advantage of the Claymore on Priest and frog splashed off the top rope and eliminated Priest. He had
yep.
to eliminate someone. And then he copped the GTS from CM Punk to a massive, massive pop from the crowd.
Yeah.
He's getting booed a lot. It's great. Logan Paul's a good heel.
Yeah.
Say what
Definitely.
you want to say about him. He knows how to be a heel. So we were down to the last three: CM Punk, John Cena, and Seth freaking Rollins.
And we had a good talk, like a nice moment when CM Punk and John Cena shake hands.
Yeah,
Like
hugged it out.
because they had one of the greatest stories that we've seen in a long time as well. Like when there were two champions and then CM Punk leaves the night right when his contract expired with the title in hands, with Big Sman McMahon just looking at him and John Cena losing that. It's just one of the like if you never watch that, please go and watch it. That's a great match between them. Um, and a moment where CM Punk and John Cena, John Cena has been in the main event of WrestleMania. CM Punk still hasn't get his moment in WrestleMania. So, and Seth Rollins was just there because it's Seth Rollins. He was right there viciously.
And I mean, look at the way he got eliminated. He copped a GTS from Punk and then an attitude adjustment from John Cena, and only then did he get eliminated.
Exactly.
Like each one of those finishes can end the match, and he copped both of them.
They have to take him out of somewhere, and then he cost like CM Punk.
He cost CM Punk. He stomped CM Punk. He didn't get out of the ring.
Which is great.
Stomped CM Punk.
Which is great.
And that's when the first clue of John Cena.
I'll say it's the second. You know what?
What was the first? When he came out.
When he demanded being in the Elimination Chamber.
Oh yeah. But I mean, in the actual Elimination Chamber match.
Oh, the actual Elimination Chamber. Yeah, that was the first time because that's a heel move.
That's a massive heel move.
That's a
and
massive.
He's like,
heel
"I'm
move.
sorry." He says he mouths the words, "I'm sorry," and he pins him.
Yeah.
You're not that sorry. You're pinning him.
Yeah, he's taking advantage of someone's getting injured. That's absolutely heel move. And then shit goes back and forward, and then until he submits a CM Punk. CM Punk's out. We get John Cena celebrating. Everyone's like, "Yes, John Cena. We knew he was gonna win. We always said he's gonna win. He had to win it.
We called it.
We called it. Until this moment, we called it.
We called it. And
we
then,
called the next part. We called the next part too.
If anybody tells you, anybody says out there that they called this heel turn, then they're full of shit. because
100%.
nobody
Nobody.
saw this coming. Nobody.
Now you can see it coming because you
Mm.
can so
Oh, when you're looking backwards, yeah,
look
when
back
you,
and realize, oh shit,
yeah,
it was right in front
it's
of our
like that.
faces.
It's like when you're playing poker and you show your cards and the guy goes, "Yeah, I knew you had that ace jack." Yeah, of course you did because I just showed you my cards, mate. But yeah,
Yeah,
he
exactly.
didn't
Yeah,
know.
he didn't know shit.
Yeah,
Um, so look, at this point we get it right, and then we hear, of course, Cody Rhodes music. Cody Rhodes music. Cody Rhodes comes out. Oh, John Cena. Blah 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 blah. We hear the Rocks coming out. Rock comes out. Cody got some beautiful promo,
oh, mate, that
and
was
then he say, "Go and fuck yourself, Rock." We knew
that
he was
fucked
gonna
it.
say
Yeah,
no. We just after this is when we didn't know.
no,
Until this moment, we all were like, okay, cool. And then there was an awkward moment, a lot of space in between the awkward, like between like, the Rock looking at Cody Rhodes, and then John Cena laughing and whatever. Like, oh my god, I can't believe you said that to the Rock, couldn't you? They go and shake hands. They're hugging it out, and then John Cena's face just absolutely changes. We are like,
yeah.
what?
And it was at that point where I was like, "What? What? What's
And
going
then
on?"
and then you can see the Rock doing this,
Yep, the
and
old
that's we are like, no,
flashing
no.
motion.
Pull back and just like kick to the balls. And we're like, oh my God.
Yeah,
John Cena has 10 heel. The amount of videos of kids crying the eyes out.
yeah.
It just is something that just we never
We
thought
all
was
got,
gonna happen.
you know what? We all got slapped in the face harder than Travis Scott slapped Cody.
Oh my god, no one told you to hold back on that. You know, I was watching it back today,
He
and you
slapped
could
the hell out
hear
of
it.
him.
You could hear
Yeah,
it.
he slapped the stardust out of him.
Oh my god! It was so loud.
But
Was
it
that
was like that. I mean, just on that heel turn, like that's monumental. Like
that's amazing?
people, there's been in my. And don't forget, I dropped off wrestling for a few years because I didn't
Yeah,
like the product, and it wasn't shown on Australian television for a while. So I dropped off. So there may have been stuff that happened in around those 2000s that I wasn't aware of. Like I know Austin turned heel, but I wasn't really following that much back then as much as I should have. To me, there's two massive heel turns in professional wrestling before this one. The first one was Andre the Giant. When Andre the Giant came out with Bobby Heenan onto Piper's Pit and he turned heel on Hulk Hogan. Something which Andre the Giant didn't even want to do. Vince had an issue with him. There was a bunch of stuff going on, and Vince made him turn heel. And Andre, I think, resented that for the rest of his life. The second, obviously, was when Hulk Hogan's red and yellow
yeah,
joined Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and formed the NWO. What happened after that was groundbreaking. Was historical, changed the face of professional wrestling forever with the NWO. I think, and you can shoot me down if you want, but I think Cena's heel turn at this point in time was bigger than both of those. And let me explain why. Because I'll take you back to around the time of One Night Stand, right? ECW One Night Stand. When Cena came out, he fought Rob Van Dam. People threw his shirt back at him and things like that. Around that time, I reckon 90% of men that followed professional wrestling hated Cena because they didn't turn him heel. They should have turned him heel back then. He had a song, he had everything, he was ready to go. They should, and they didn't. And they didn't because it was a cash decision, it was a business decision. He was making a shitload of money on merch. Little kids loved him, women loved him, so they were never going to turn him heel. Had he turned heel then, it wouldn't have been as big as now because
no,
when Hulk Hogan turned heel, people were already booing him. People were a bit tired of the old red and yellow Hulk Hogan. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins. So we did all that. Time for a change. Whereas now, John Cena came back for his last year in professional wrestling. He's going to retire. He said it's the truth. That's what I'm going to do. At no stage did we think WWE would turn him heel now. At no stage. I mean, people might have contemplated and said, hey, it would be a great idea. And, he can always turn back, which I think is what's going to happen eventually. He'll turn back to being a face. He's not going to retire a heel. But for it to happen at this point in time in his career, and the fact that WWE is so red hot at the moment, and there's a shitload of money to be made in John Cena retirement merch, the fact that they did it is, to me, makes it the biggest heel turn in the history of professional wrestling. I don't know. What's your view?
Agree. Like there's no bigger like it has a lot into it. John Cena's been the babyface for the last what 15 years or something like that. Babyface. So it's the longest babyface we've ever seen in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
The shock part of the heel turn is crazy. The just the unpredictable heel turn. Like you said, no one could predict this. Like it just the biggest shock we had so far in a long time. I was when Seth Rollins betrayed the Shield. That was the
Yes.
last time we had this big of a shock. Like we never expected Seth Rollins to turn into the Shield, and he just chair Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. And until this day, is something that Roman Reigns he always said. Whenever I had the chance to give a chair to Seth Rollins, I'm gonna
Well,
give him a chair
it
to.
cost him the title. Cost him
He
the title
doesn't
last year.
care, and he
Yeah.
said it. He didn't care. Every time I have a chance to put a chair through Seth Rollins, I will fucking do it. I
Yeah.
will never forgive him what he did. And so that's it was a moment they broke the Shield. The Shield was one of the biggest factions at the moment. But Cena, 100%, is the biggest heel turn in history of professional wrestling because no one saw it coming. The shock that we all got was like genuine shock. And the fact that now we can have a John Cena for a long time. Like John Cena probably will retire from wrestling, but he can be corporate now because it's with The Rock. You know, like you say, he could not retire Hugh. I don't know because you know what, we were rumbling our heads around. It was like, how can they make, John Cena win the title without affecting Cody Rhodes? And I'm like, we were trying to find the best way possible. It was two faces going at each other, and but this is the best way possible. Now we're gonna have John Cena winning
Yep.
the
Yep.
and having the record, winning the title as a heel, which is
I think
perfect.
that's inevitable. I think that is inevitable.
It's gonna win the title, and it's
Yep.
gonna win in a heel, which is perfect. Make Cody Rhodes the biggest baby face you can ever seen. Maybe he will be the next John Cena. Who knows? And then, goddamn, just getting the storyline gets even more crazy because now we got The Rock, this final boss. He has his hands on the biggest face of the company for a long time, and we haven't even seen Roman Reigns.
No, he's been very
MIA.
conspicuously absent. Yeah. Yeah.
He's been gone. We don't know. Like
Yeah.
the bloodline storyline kind of
Yeah.
starting to
We
die
just
down a
don't know
bit.
we just don't know where it's going, man, and that's the beauty of it, really. I mean,
Exactly.
I don't see John Cena retiring as a heel. I really don't. I think he'll turn face again at SummerSlam or further down the track. Don't forget, there's two massive PLEs in the Saudi Arabia too, and they pay
Yeah.
massive money.
And you know
Rumor has
what?
it they pay $55 million per PLE to be held there.
Yeah. And you know what? I've heard it somewhere and stuff. There's only one person that can bring him back.
Ah, I know who you're talking about.
We all know who I'm talking about.
He was his childhood hero.
He was a child, and I love the tweet. The tweet
Yeah.
the Brandon Rose put like, "Fuck Cena," and it's like that. Is like we can't jump to conclusions yet. I'm like, come on.
No, that's fantastic.
And the funny thing is, if you look at back, R-Truth was part of the Cody Rhodes and Rock story. He was inside the room when Cody Rhodes last week in SmackDown or Raw, SmackDown. And SmackDown, he was there. So clearly he's gonna have a big part of this storyline. And probably he will be the one that bring John Cena back, as a face, and maybe they both retire at the same time. Maybe R-Truth will retire with John Cena,
Oh
Who
no, I
knows?
think Archer's still got a bit in him.
But he can be still there, but retire from in ring. Like his childhood hero is gonna retire. I'm retiring. He does all what John Cena does. So why
I
not?
don't know if they'll give Truth that status. Like he might have a comedic role to play in it all, but I don't think they're going to give him the status of doing that. I think the person that's going to retire John Cena is Randy Orton.
Randy. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we always say someone you have to bring someone up from the bottom. Um,
Yeah, I
but
know that's ideal, but it is, you know.
it
I
could
mean, look
be
at Undertaker's last match was AJ Styles, wasn't it?
yes, AJ Styles, but
So
it
there you
was a
go. So
crack of a. But
yeah,
come on,
that's right. I know, I
that
know.
was
I'm
that
just
was
saying it. You know.
pure
Yeah,
cinematic beauty
yeah.
with
But one
the
thing,
Undertaker riding down on the bike.
yeah.
Man, I cry every single time I see that. It's just a beautiful way to say goodbye to the Undertaker. It was oh my god.
Can I just mention one thing that I forgot to mention when we were talking about the women's
Yeah,
elimination chamber match? I think that when what happened at the start happened, when Jade Cargill took out Naomi, I think that made it inevitable that Bianca was going to win the chamber. But that's it. That's I forgot to say that when we were talking
oh
about it.
yeah, that
Yeah.
probably makes sense. Yeah,
But in
no,
terms of
understand.
the Cena thing like that, I don't know where it's going. He's gone to Africa now to film a movie. He's due back on the
Yeah,
17th of March. I think that's a Raw. If it's a Monday,
he's gonna
yeah, I
get booed
think it
like
is.
no
It's a Monday.
tomorrow.
It's a Monday. It's gonna and I mean I want to see what happens on SmackDown.
Yeah.
We're running out of time, but we've got to talk about Raw.
Are we gonna get time to talk about Raw? Now I gotta say, look, also this also brings because the promo videos they did of The Rock, it shows a few of the stars. We might have a corporate Rock that's gonna bring a few wrestlers to their side, you know, and gonna get their
Like LA
souls.
Knight.
Like it's a few. I forgot who else
Mm,
was there, but LA Knight's the one that was keep showing the most,
yeah.
you know.
Even Rock shared him on his Insta.
Yeah, so we can't see probably an LA Knight going heel, you know, and LA Knight going corporate and taking, you know, taking
It's
just
just
finally giving
it's
his
just a
soul, you
wonderful
know.
just a wonderful time to be a wrestling fan. And look, we
Oh
can
my
quick.
god.
I mean, the only thing I want to talk about Raw is another thing that's got me perplexed. Like I don't
Oh my god,
understand.
the
I don't
ending.
get it. Hmm?
The ending of
The
Raw.
end, like Rhea Ripley. Like I don't understand why Rhea Ripley dropped the title. I don't understand why she dropped the title after a Hurricanrana and a moonsault. I mean, all due respect to Io Sky, she's a fantastic worker. She deserves to
Yes.
be champion. But it just does not make sense. But you know what? Trust the product. Trust Triple H. Trust the storytellers. Trust the bookers, the producers, all of them, because the product is red hot. But I mean, they showed the only thing I can see is, and everything matters obviously. Rhea was like really annoyed at herself and really like angry at herself and really like
Yeah.
just really disappointed and like just telling herself off basically for being like just dropping the ball, losing concentration.
Yeah.
And she was Bianca was cheering for Io, and Bianca kept looking at the crowd. I don't know what she was. I don't know if she was looking at the WrestleMania sign. I thought someone was going to do a run in, but no, that never happened. So I don't know what's happening. It was a good way to end it because again, like after
Shock factor.
after just when my mind was recovering from the being mind blown with Cena, I'll get mind blown with this. Like it's insane. Like Rhea Ripley's not going to be the champion going into WrestleMania. There's still a lot of time before WrestleMania. There's like 44 odd days before WrestleMania.
Yes.
So
How
I
about
mean, I don't know.
oh,
A lot can happen. A lot
oh
can happen.
you know something? Oh, that'll be oh
So who's Rhea going to feud
hang
with
on,
for
hang on, hang on.
WrestleMania?
I got something in my head, but oh
Say
it'll
it
be
because we're
weird.
running out of time.
We're running out of time. Rhea Ripley loses, yeah? How about
Mm.
if Rhea Ripley wants the match really bad? He wants the title back. There's one way you can get that title back.
He's going to sell her soul to The Rock, you reckon?
Why not? Maybe that's what we're gonna see. We're gonna see Rhea Ripley going heel again. Because we got Io Sky as a face. Bianca Belair is a face. We're missing a heel here.
I love heel Rhea,
I
but
love
people
heel
went
Rhea,
for her because people love her.
but and The Rock love it too. So we don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe The Rock will
but The
come
Rock,
up.
don't forget The Rock. The Rock's got a history of being booed even as a face. WrestleMania 18 at Toronto of all places.
Yeah, I know,
Hogan Rock.
but I'm saying like he's building an army. How about if you got approached by John Cena and The Rock saying to you, "You want the title back?" Hey, there's not many people who's gonna think twice to say, "What do I need to? What
No,
do I need to sign?
I know.
What do I need to
Yeah,
sign? Get me sign up. I want the title back. Give it back to
yeah.
me." Like maybe we're gonna have a huge Rhea just going into it. I don't know. It could happen.
Mate, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Same
Now WrestleMania season is well and truly kicked in.
and more
This is
unpredictable than ever.
that's exactly right. That is exactly right. We just don't know what's going on, and that is the beauty of this ballet of brutality that we follow called professional wrestling.
Exactly. We can't even like you know what I also thought as well. we might not have Jey Uso winning that title.
No, I think that's a given. I think he's going to win. I don't think it's going to be a main event. That's the thing. We've only got 2 nights.
He
You've only
has
had
to.
2 main events.
He has to.
That
He
won't be
has
a
to.
main event.
It has to be. It's a title. There's nothing else. There's no big
You could
other.
start the night. You could start the night with it.
I don't know because
There's
it's a
nothing
big.
else yet.
It's,
There's nothing else yet.
there's nothing else. Yeah, yeah. Good point. There could be
But
something
with
else coming in the
Seth
works.
Rollins and CM Punk beat the living daylights out of each other today on Raw.
But they're gonna be in a cage match next week.
Next week. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's gonna happen after
But that's
that?
not going to end there. That's not going to end there. And I think
no.
Roman's got to jump into that. Roman's jumping into that equation too, eventually, I think.
But I think that match will be in between. It's not gonna be a main event. That's no way it's gonna be a main event. They're not gonna be. That's CM Punk. They're not gonna be that kind of a main event to CM Punk. Like CM Punk needs to be the main event for the title. But anyways, it just also
We've said a
unpredictable.
lot.
It
We've
just
said a lot. So much has happened.
and we thought we're gonna have enough time. We could keep talking, but we're running out of time. We don't want to do 2 parts this time. We're just gonna do 1 part, which I'm regretting right now. We
And
should-
apologies to AEW and all the other promotions for ignoring them, but just WWE
Real quick,
is
I'm talking
very
about
hot.
AEW. Ray Phoenix is out of AEW. Looking forward to what's going to happen now when he
Yeah.
comes to the main roster. Penta
Yeah.
did amazing today as well. Penta is red hot as well. People getting crazy about Penta every single time he gets in the ring. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan, man.
Oh, and one last thing before we go,
What?
before
Go,
I get
go,
cut
go.
off. I reckon Chad Gable bought the mask of Rey Mysterio Sr., Rey Mysterio's uncle, that taught him how to wrestle. I reckon that's what he bought when he went down to Mexico today on Raw. Anyway,
That'll be such a slap in the face.
I'm Mars, the voice of violence. For my colleague here at ringside, the former dreaded demon himself, Rowdy Rod. Stay from the storm, mate, and we'll talk next week. Viva la lucha.
That's it. We'll see you next week, guys. Goodbye.